I'm filling in for my wife, my daughter, and myself on the Tuesday show we call He Said, She Said. We'll be back next week. The girls are at Disneyland, Justin. Disneyland. You ever been to Disneyland?
Not a long time.
No. But today's show, so we're filling in. So I'm going to do my Start a Biz show. The girls will never let me talk about my Start a Biz show that's on Thursday on the weekends on KHTS 1220 AM. I have a great lineup today on Start a Biz. Also, my partner, Aaron Scott Young, is speaking. Remember we talked about last week? He's making, I think, $15,000 for a speech in Salt Lake City. Miss you, buddy. Miss you. I'll see you on Thursday. Aaron Scott Young on the show we call Start a Biz. Go to startabizradionetwork.com, or you can listen to the show today on hometownstation.com and on the app 1220 AM, KHTS 1220 AM. It's a great radio app, and my special guest today, I'm going to introduce him in a minute, but, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get serious for a minute. We've had a horrible week here in the United States last week because of all the murders in San Bernardino, and I don't do politics on the air, and I don't get into stuff like that. I try to make all of our shows interesting, try to make them entertaining and a little bit educational. But I think I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", 240 pounds, and I think I can take care of myself. But I realized after talking to my family members that they were uncomfortable. They were uncomfortable for the first time in their lives, even going to the shopping malls, going outside. And I said, okay, ladies, I'm going to go find an expert in Southern California. And I think I have one today. I think I have really a nice young man who's been in this business a long time. He owns a company called Copper, CopperEaglePatrol.com. If you're listening online, CopperEaglePatrol.com is the website. And is my guest, and he's going to be with me the whole hour, Isaiah. So welcome to the show we call Start a Biz here in Southern California. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you.
Yeah, so you helped, well, you know, we talked for about 20 minutes in the other room, and I realized I know nothing about taking care of myself or my family. Security now is a primary issue for all of us. So I shared with you that I own guns, right?
Yes.
And then your question was?
Do you shoot them?
And I said no. And so what do I need to do?
Well, you need to first find someone who knows how to use a weapon, right? If you're going to use guns as a defense.
All right, so say that again. I got to find a teacher?
A teacher. So
can you teach me? Can you teach me?
I can teach you how to properly fire a weapon, yes.
Okay.
So weapons are much more than just point and shoot. You also need to know how to clean and maintain your gun, because if you don't regularly make sure that they're
taken care of, I have no clue.
You have no real belief that it'll actually work,
kit,
right? Yeah. So you need to first. I
need you in my life, Isaiah Talley.
So maintenance, just like your automobile, you would maintenance your automobile so it always starts for you, right? You want to maintenance your gun and make sure that works for you. But you need to learn from experts on how to fire guns. And most of our shooting ranges, there's 3 in the Santa Clarita area.
Been to all of them.
And they have instructors who will teach you how to fire the gun, how to aim, how to make your target small, how to hit what you're pointing at, and that will do well in practice. Just remember, in a life situation, your heart will play against you. Your emotions will jump up. You're going to freak out, and so
because you asked me, could I pull the trigger, and I hauntingly paused and said, I don't know, because you were dramatic with me, but you need to be dramatic with me. And I was just thinking, Justin, you can jump in on this segment. We're talking to Isaiah Talley, the owner of Copper Eagle Patrol. I checked out all the security companies, ladies and gentlemen, and your company does the colleges. I mean, you do almost everybody in town, which is great.
Lots of the HOAs, yes, and a lot of the businesses as well.
Yeah, so other people have vetted you, and I vetted you, so I'm so honored to have you here at KHTS 1220 AM here in Southern California. So I now realize I know nothing. So, Justin, here's my thought in talking to Isaiah for a few minutes, is I have a membership at a couple of gyms. Why you should start, I don't know what word to use, but he should start like a membership. I would pay you every month to learn how to clean my gun, shoot my gun, protect myself. I'll be your marketing manager. Come on. Are you in on this?
Are there not? Do the shooting ranges not offer those kind of services?
No, they show you how to shoot, but not how to clean.
Not how to do
And the
it.
thing is, you wouldn't think I'd be intimidated by anything, but I'm intimidated dramatically when I go to the gun ranges. It's like I know I don't know anything, so I'm embarrassed to even ask because I don't even know what questions to ask.
Oh,
So
well, they're actually, I go to both Oak Tree and to A Place to Shoot, and they are both very good at
if Betsy would teach me personally, then
giving you giving tips and saying, hey, look, and they're very friendly, very approachable because they want people to understand more. They want them because it's a tool, and the better you know how to use the tool, the more effective it is, right? If you have a skill saw and you only know it cuts planks, you'll only cut planks. But if you know, I can use it to make angles or I can use it to make notches in the wood, all of a sudden you start creating pieces of furniture with just your skill saw because you know all the options that tool offers. Same with a gun.
So, being an ex-coach, being a current tremendous athlete that I am, practicing. Why do football teams practice the same play 30 or 40 times? Because instead of reacting, instead of thinking about what you're going to do, it becomes natural now when the play is called.
Right.
So I'd imagine learning how to not only shoot my gun but protect myself. You talked about learning
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. Am I saying it right?
Jiu-jitsu.
You say it. You say it on the show we call Start a Biz here on KHTS 1220 AM. So let's start with where we start. So we have thousands of people listening, predominantly a female audience. I'd say our audience is probably 65% female.
Okay.
And my daughter is listening. My wife is listening. Where would they start? Do they call you? I mean, how do we get started learning how to protect ourselves?
So I do offer free self-defense classes from time to time. They can check.
Let's not make them free. Let's charge.
Let's charge for it.
Yeah.
Well, I want people to protect themselves. I want people to feel safe. I want them to have a certain base level of what to do. I want their muscles to react when a situation comes up because their brain's not going to work.
Bingo. You get it. You're listening. His name is Isaiah Talley, CopperEaglePatrol.com. So I think, here's what I said to my son the other day. My son lives in Oregon, and he asked me, hey, Pops, he says, hey, what's going on down there? And I says, it's not fun right now. And, he said, well, what are you going to do about it? And I said, I'm calling Isaiah. I'm calling you, and I'm gonna learn this stuff. But I told him, I said, I think, unfortunately, we're going to look like Israel in 5 years. And I actually want to buy your company, so I'll give you a check in about 5. I think you're going to be the fastest growing industry in the United States, protecting us. You go to Israel, go to a restaurant, a guy standing there, an AK-47, right?
Absolutely.
Any public place has multiple guards.
Yes.
So,
and teachers also, in order to teach, have to learn how to fire and maintain their weapon.
There you go.
Yeah, I went to
School teachers.
I went to school in Israel.
Oh,
too.
you did?
Yeah, I went to school here at the Master's College local, and they have a campus in Israel. So
No
for no extra
kidding.
cost, I could spend a semester there.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So you know better than I know.
It was it's impressive because schools are a high target, especially in an area where there's constant conflict. Yet they have almost no school incidents because the teachers carry assault weapons.
Talking to Isaiah Talley at Copper Eagle Patrol. Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
The news media says, see something, say something. Okay. So here's a kid in Texas brings a clock to school that
Right.
looks like some kind of a timing bomb.
Okay.
The school sends him home, calls the authorities in, they check him out, and now the school is going to have to pay somewhere between $5 and $15 million. So is this see something, say something, just a bunch of malarkey? Because the school, the authorities did exactly what they needed to do. They saw something, they said something, they called the authorities, and now they're being punished.
Well, unfortunately, the way our laws work allow for people to go after you for humiliation or other things. Now, there can be an endless debate in the manner in which they treated the boy after they made contact with him, right? And there's endless amounts of debate as to where the proper respect is. The family's suing over lack of respect. They're not suing over
And then
the
they
actual
quickly
procedure.
moved out of the country. I thought
Yes.
that was pretty interesting.
So, but they're suing over how it is. And that's why it's important for public officials to have that friendly face, to have that you want to go up and talk to them. I've been to Japan multiple times. There's no fear of the Japanese people walking up and talking to police officers there because the police officers are polite and friendly. And in America, most of our officers are that way, almost all of them. But we have some that poison the well, so to speak, that give them bad name.
Look, you have good and bad and everything. My God, you got
Absolutely.
bad doctors, bad attorneys, bad presidents, bad athletes. I mean, look, there's a percentage of people that just don't get it. But your comments pretty right on, because I'm not intimidated by, well, that's not true. I'm lying to you now. I have black and white fever. If a cop pulls up behind me, I start to sweat. My heartbeat goes. I mean, I got black and white. And if I see an officer in a restaurant, I should feel comfortable going up to him, but I don't. And it's so complicated today, but I like what you said. Maybe the officers, I don't know. I mean, maybe the officers could be more, I don't know, more marketing oriented towards us. I don't know. It's complicated because their lives, they don't know who's coming up to them anymore, right?
They have to deal with an enormous amount of pressure and an enormous amount of people who would target them. And plus the amount of criminal element that uses compassion against them.
There you go.
And then, so it only takes once or twice of that before people become more standoffish. It only happens to happen to you once or twice before you're standoffish to other people.
Well, right now, I used to drive fast, but now I drive slow because in Southern California, the motorcycle guys are hiding everywhere. So
Right.
I really stay at the speed level. If you're listening, Mr. Police Officer, the coach really goes at a nice speed level. Talking to a wonderful young man. His name is Isaiah Talley. He's the CEO and owner of Copper Eagle Patrol. And I think that the community as a whole somehow has to come together. And I think, you obviously have leadership abilities. You've been all over the world. Maybe there's something you and I can do together in our community. Maybe, I think starting some kind of fitness classes to protect yourself or be aware is critical right now. Right. And I'm an example of somebody that needs a class like tomorrow.
Right, and that's why...
But we're not doing it for free.
No,
Nothing for free.
Nothing for free. But that's why I do heavily suggest there's a wide range of martial arts and a wide range of things that people will take to
But if a guy... Wait, time out a second. If a guy's pointing a weapon at you, what is martial arts going to do?
So that all depends. Jiu-jitsu is a perfect example. The classes, even offered through the city here, will show you how to take the gun out of the hand of a guy if he's close enough to do that. If a guy's pointing a gun at you, do what he says. If you're not within range to handle it, and if you're not trained to be able to take that weapon away. But if a guy is pointing a gun at, say, a police officer, he responds differently than, say, you or I would, because his training takes over and he knows how to handle that situation. There's multiple things you can do. It all depends on the circumstance and whether you recognize what's going on in the heart of that guy. So if his intent is to harm no matter what, you have to act. But if it looks like he's doing this and he's scared into it, you could use verbal judo to pull him down, to de-escalate the situation.
Or get my wife. I'm telling you, my wife. You get my wife involved, right, Justin, and let her start talking, or my daughters, and they're gone. Yeah. But just for a serious moment, so I would love to have a concealed. I'm in the media business, and so people actually come up to me, and sometimes I don't know why they're coming up to me, but they come. It happened at lunch today. I was ordering in a restaurant, and somebody said, "I know that voice," and I looked behind me, and they were two, probably 27, 28 years old, and they said, "We love your show." Guess what show, Justin? They said they loved.
He said, she said.
Yeah, they went on and on about how great that show was. And I said, well, I have another show. Well, no, they wanted to talk about it. He said, she said. But, looking at a concealed weapon. I honestly believe in my heart that if everybody was carrying, we'd be safer. Am I right there?
Yeah, I definitely 100% believe that, because if everyone's carrying, all right, let's put a little asterisk on that one. Everyone's trained in carrying. Just because you carry doesn't make you safe. You need to know how to use the tool, and it matters. And I think that everyone across society, I actually believe in my heart it should be a school class that you should have to do for the 4 years of high school, learn how to maintain and fire a weapon. And yes, some of those people will become criminals, but you know what? That criminal will actually hit what he's aiming at and not go through the window and hit a kid. Because how many times do we see these drive-by shootings that are ridiculous, that some unintended victim gets hurt? Even if criminals knew how to use the weapon better, it would be better for society as a whole because you get the less of the unintended victims.
I love that. Do you think a master's college or a COC would allow us to do a class?
Ooh, I don't know. Masters has a no weapons policy except for their security guards. I believe they just recently allowed but there's no weapons allowed on campus for the general student population there. And I don't know what COC because I didn't go there.
But yeah, I could see where
liability is.
I could see where that would be an issue, bringing your guns to class.
Right,
yeah,
and
that's
even
not going to work.
Part of the deal with schools not wanting to do it is, okay, say you train somebody, even the basic on how to take a gun out of the hands of somebody, and say it doesn't work, then that family goes and sues you because...
Well, I'm going to have you back many times because I think this is a subject, at least for the next year, that we need to talk about, and the fact that I like where you're coming from, me being an ex-educator, and you talking about training people and educate people, that's everything.
The solution is always more knowledge.
And I'm not going to ever put you on the spot, and maybe when you come back next time I'll put you on the spot, but I want to ask you, and I'm not going to ask you the questions, but I want to ask the questions like, is our community safe? But I'm not going to ask it. Is some of our more established meeting areas safe? I'm not going to ask that. I'm going to wait till you like me better.
Well, it's okay. Like, I don't mind feeling
Really?
those types, because the deal is that
Well, at the mall,
safety is
But why aren't the guards at the mall armed?
because there hasn't been an incident. We do as a reaction.
Yeah, there
So
wasn't
see how
an
that
incident in
happens?
San Bernardino either. So
Right.
the
There's
mall
this
is a soft
constant-
target, right?
Yes, there's this constant battle back and forth between. So in Los Angeles, the mall would take a look at, okay, so in Santa Clarita, there's this many crimes not really happening, but a better target would be the Northridge Mall, where the Northridge Mall does have some armed security, an actual LAPD station in the mall. So they look at the probabilities. That's less likely to happen here. What would happen if there's armed guards? Will people feel that, oh, they know that there's a threat, they're going to buy less, feel more guarded? So the object is to make people feel better.
His name, and he's smart. I love the way he approaches security. His name is Isaiah Talley, and it's Copper Eagle Patrol, eaglepatrol.com. So I didn't want to ask you those questions. I didn't want to put you on the spot. The fact that you're open makes it cool for our community. So our show is called Start a Biz. We're on Thursdays at 1. Today, normally we have He Said, She Said, but the girls are down at Disneyland. We'll hear all about that next week. So I wanted, and you're saying, okay, well, Coach, it's a business show. Why do you have a security guy on? Because, ladies and gentlemen, look, if you're looking for a career, this industry, I don't know, I'll ask Isaiah in a second, but if he's hiring, but I'm telling you, this will be the fastest growing segment of growth in business, Justin, in the country. Seriously. I mean, if you're a retired police officer, if you're retired military, and you know how to protect yourself, I'm telling you, I'm going to buy Isaiah's company, or we'll be partners or something. I'll start my own, Coach's Security. We're going to come right back, and I'm going to ask that question of Isaiah. And I keep saying the name of his company, because if you're interested in security, remember Copper Eagle, coppereaglepatrol.com. We'll be right back on KHTS 1220 AM.